when I say and when others say that capitalism is a virus. Case in point, look at this. Hungry Thanksgiving for millions. 1 in 8 Americans. I don't like when people say Americans because there's North America, there's South America, there's Central America. We should say 1 in 8 people in the United States didn't have enough food last week. Census Bureau reports. And again, it's completely and utterly preventable, but because we live in this capitalist society with this whole pull yourself up by the bootstraps, mentality and ethos that is preached by the powers that be, we allow this type of thing to happen. And it's, again, completely preventable and horrifying that this is allowed to take place in the United States, which has such a massive amount of wealth that goes to the top, the people at the very top. As we'll see later in this article, billionaires during this pandemic have increased their wealth by $1 trillion, and yet 1 in 8 people in the United States didn't have enough food. Okay? Can't have one up without the other. You have people at the top, literally billions, tens of billions, hundreds of billions of dollars, more wealth than anybody could know what to do with, an obscene amount of wealth that shouldn't exist. You have that on one end of the spectrum, you're going to have this on the other. And again, completely preventable. And that's what makes it so sickening and disgusting. More than 25 million Americans reported they sometimes or often didn't have enough food to eat in the past week, according to U.S. Census Bureau survey data collected in late October and early November, a drastic increase compared to pre-pandemic totals. According to analysis of the Census Bureau data by the WAPO, more Americans are going hungry now than at any point since the start of the coronavirus pandemic. Post notes that experts believe it is likely that there is more hunger in the U.S. today than at any point since 1998, when the Bureau began tracking food scarcity. Census Bureau survey found that among households with children, approximately 16% reported they sometimes or often didn't have enough food to eat in the past. I mean, it's obviously fucked and disgusting, no matter what age, to not have enough food to eat. But kids, even worse, because they need enough calories, enough proper nutrition to fuel their development and their growth. 16%, 1 out of 6 kids, or 1 out of 6 households with kids did not have enough food to eat. There's so many indicators that the U.S. is a failed state. For fuck's sake. According to recent research by the Brookings Institute, the nonprofit public policy org based in Washington, D.C., low-income families with children have been disproportionately impacted by the coronavirus pandemic, for sure. Typical feature of recessions is that those who had fewer means before the downturn suffer more during the downturns and for longer. Bauer adds that the loss of a job or income, as well as unstable childcare arrangements, are associated with the onset of food insecurity, and that the parents of young children reporting such higher rates of inadequate food security is of urgent public concern. Yeah, no shit. According to USDA, lower food security is linked to a higher probability of developing heart disease, hepatitis, cancer, asthma, diabetes, arthritis, kidney disease. And then here's that number I was alluding to. Keep in mind, 25 million people in the United States didn't know or reported they did not have enough food to eat. And this, on the other side, 1 trillion. During the pandemic, from March 2020 to November 2020, American billionaires gained almost 1 trillion in total wealth, according to a recent report from the Institute for Policy Studies. Elon Musk's net worth, who got his start by getting a bunch of money from his dad, who owned a emerald mine in apartheid South Africa, has nearly quadrupled during the COVID-19 pandemic, jumping from 24.6 billion in mid-March to Forbes' estimated 129.6 billion as of Wednesday afternoon. Jesus Christ. In October, Feeding America, nationwide network of more than 200 food banks, projected the U.S. would face a shortage of up to 8 billion meals over the next month. Redistribute all these fucking gross oligarch capitalist billionaires' wealth. Use it to feed the people. Use it to give them health care. Use it to give them high quality education. Use it to give them UBI, etc. Critical quote. I was just telling my mom, you look at people pulling up in Mercedes and stuff. Come on. If a person driving a Mercedes is in need of food, you know it's bad, said Randy Young, 58-year-old Houston resident. I mean, 1 in 8 people reported they did not have enough food to eat. Households with kids, 16% reported sometimes or often did not have enough to eat in the past. Was it week? Yeah. Again, capitalism is the virus. It's a system that allows for this massive inequality to expand, to increase, while literally 25 million people in the U.S. did not have enough food to eat. It's disgusting and completely preventable, which makes it even worse. It's not like we don't know what to do. There's enough wealth and resources to make sure everybody has their basic needs met. Food, obviously, huge one. You need food, you need nutrition, you need sustenance to survive. You need housing, you need health care, etc. We have more than enough resources many times over to give everybody a good quality life in the United States and globally, but unfortunately, powers that be are bought by the same capitalist interest, and they do their bidding. That's why we have shit like this continuing to happen and get worse. But again, Trump was right. There are shithole countries, but the United States is chief among them. This is just another example. Subscribe for more content. Like the video if you like the damn video. Hit that dislike button if you don't like it. Peace. Much love.